Hey guys, Mr. Allison here for another Crash reading. We're getting really close to the end of the book, so hopefully you're kind of excited to hear the end of Crash. If you remember last time, Scooter has come home from the hospital after his stroke, and it is spring. It is track season. Both Crash and Penn Webb are on the track team, and they are trying out for the one spot that seventh graders can get for the Penn relays. Uh, Penn Webb has been practicing every day, working on his sprinting and his running, trying to honor his great grandfather, excuse me, by getting in. Crash pretty much thinks that that spot is his because he is the fastest. So he pretty much expects to get that spot. So we are on chapter 45. April 19th. Big surprise when I got home from school today. My mother was there. You sick? I said. No, she said, just home. You got fired? She chuckled. I quit, actually. Well, I half quit. I still do it part time, but only on my schedule. The mall can get along fine without me. Why? I said. She shrugged. Well, with Scooter home now, and she squeezed my shoulder and stared into my eyes. Now, really, would you rather have my money or my time? Your money. I knew I shouldn't have asked. What about Miss Linford? She did get fired. Good. So I'll be making dinner tonight. Not good. She laughed. The dinner wasn't bad, for my mother, anyways. She's got possibilities. There were four of us me, Abby, Mom, and Scooter. Maybe you can do your paintings again now, said Abby. I don't like that one you did of me as a baby. I don't want you to paint me like that now, she posed. Gorgeous. Oh, I want you to paint me like I am now. Gorgeous. And she posed. My mother made a frame of her fingers and peered through. We'll see. Is Daddy quitting his job too? Her face showed what she wanted the answer to be. No, said Mom. Not unless you want to live in the hut. Abby piped, Yay! My mother wagged her head. I keep saying things I shouldn't. Well, there's one thing you'll be glad about. I really will be buying some of your clothes that second time around from now on. Abby clapped. Goody! My mother turned to me. Oh no, I said. She looked half sad. You can live without a $30 shirt. We're all going to have to give up something. I'm selling my car. I ain't wearing no used underwear, I told her. No used underwear, she said. Just some things. And look on the bright side. Now you won't have to waste so much time comparing price tags with your friends. Abby laughed. I stuck my face in my food. I felt like punching a wall. Scooter was silent the whole time, turning his head to each person who talked, his smile tilting, his whole body tilting in his chair. No sneakers, I said. I thought of my money in my dresser drawer. I almost had enough saved for a new pair. I saw that was even better than Mike's. You can't make me spend my own money at a thrift shop. She patted my hand. Wouldn't dream of it. She came into my room when I went to bed. You're gonna tuck me in like I was a baby every night now, are you? She laughed. No, just tonight. As she was heading out, I said, just one thing. She stopped. She was like a shadow against a hallway light. What's that? If you buy me stuff from a thrift shop. Yeah? Just don't tell me, okay? I can't get to sleep. I keep thinking about the race off tomorrow. I know there's no way I can lose, but I still feel nervous. I want to be on the bedboat. Ever since Webb came dorking and whistling up the street that first day, he never saw me without saying hi until today. Not at school, not at track. Tonight, even though the coach ran us ragged at practice, I heard Webb sprinting past the house. My father bought a new spark plug for the mower. Now the gas cap has disappeared. Chapter 46, April 20th. I hardly ate breakfast. I didn't pay attention in class. I kept thinking of the race off today and the relays Friday. The 4x100 meter relay means four runners, each run 100 meters. Each runner passes a baton to the next runner. The baton looks like a foot-long pipe, but it's light and made of aluminum. Since I'm the fastest, I'll probably run the anchor leg. The anchor leg gets the baton last. The anchor crosses the finish line. The anchor is your chance to win. The anchor gets all the glory. All day long, I pictured Friday's race. Huber leads off. He hands the baton to Knowles. Halfway through the first run, Knowles tears down the backstretch and hands it to Caruso. I crouch. I look past my shoulder. They're all coming. 8 sprinters sprinting. I pick out Caruso. He's leaning into the final turn. He's 15 meters from me. 10 meters. I take off. I drag my left hand behind me, my palm open, fingers spread. Hit it now! And I feel the baton smack into my left hand, and I curl my fingers around it, and I switch it to the right hand and take off and run down the chalk-stripped brick-colored lane. I'm dead last, 10 meters behind everybody. It's hopeless. By the time I hit the straightaway, I'm passing into the next to last lane, and then the next, and then the next, and 40,000 people leap up to their feet. 80,000 eyes slide from the leader to the kid who's coming out of nowhere. Who is he? They asked, and the answer comes. It's Coogan, Crash Coogan of Springfield. I pass another, and now there are only 3 ahead of me, but there's not enough time. He can't do it, they scream. And now there are 2 ahead of me, and the red ribbon across the finish line seems close enough to be a blindfold that they're hanging from the railing and stomping on the scoreboard, and there's only 1 ahead of me now, and it's like a human hurricane is chasing me around the track, blowing in at my back, and I'm on the leader's shoulders, and for an instant the world freezes, because we're dead even, seeing us side by side as we look at one, and I remember the coach saying, in a close race, the one who leans will win. So now, with the last gasp, I throw my arms back and my chest forward, and the red ribbon breaks like a butterfly across my shirt. I slow down, I stop, I stand on the brick-colored track. I heave the baton in the air, high as the pennants wave over the stadium, and the hurricane finally catches me, and I close my eyes, and I let it wash over me. Coogan! I kept rerunning the dream all day, until the coach's whistle blew as he called a race off, and there I was, heading across the field to the starting line. The others trotted. I walked. I wasn't in a hurry. The stands were empty. A school bus moved in the distance beyond the football goalpost. Under the crossbar and between the uprights, like a framed picture, stood 3 people. For once, Webb's parents didn't look so old, not compared to the man standing between them. He was shorter than them and real skinny, like the prairie winds were eroding him away. But he was standing straight and by himself, no cane, no walker, just 2 legs, 93 years old. Maybe it was the Missouri River mud. The thought came to me. They would have liked each other. Scooter and Henry Wilhide Webb III, 2 storytellers, both from the great flat open spaces, one of the prairie and of grass, and one of water. Both came to watch when no one else was there. Why exactly was he there? Did he know about me? Did he know his great-grandson could not win the race, and so he would not run in the Penn relays? I wondered if Webb felt safe in his great-grandfather's bed. The cinder track crunched under my feet. There were 5 of us in the race, me, Webb, and 2 other 7th graders and a 6th grader. The coach put us in lanes. Me and Webb were side by side. Again, he hadn't said a word to me all day. We milled around behind the starting blocks, nervous, shaking out our arms and legs, everything as quiet as if the coach had already said ready. The other team members, jumpers, throwers, distance runners, had all stopped their practicing to watch. A single hawk, its wingtips spread like black fingers, kited over the school, and suddenly I saw something. A gift. A gift for a great-grandfather from North Dakota. Maybe for all great-grandfathers. But the thing was, only one person could give the gift, and it wasn't the great-grandson. Not on his fastest day alive. It was me. I hated it being me. I tried not to see, but everywhere I looked, there it was, the gift. "Let's go, boys," said the coach. A voice closer to me said, "Good luck." It was Webb, sticking out his dorky hand and smiling that old dorky smile of his. No button. I shook his hand, and it occurred to me that because he was always eating my dust, the dumb fish cake had never won a real race and probably didn't know how. And now there wasn't time. "Don't forget to lean," I told him. His face went blank. The coach called, "Ready?" I got down, feet on the blocks, right knee on the track, thumbs and forefingers on the chalk, eyes straight down and right. Then, for the first time in my life, I didn't know if I wanted to win. Set, knee up, rear up, eyes up. The coach says the most important thing here is to focus your mind. You are a coiled steel spring, ready to dart out at the sound of the gun. So what comes into my head? Ollie, the one-armed octopus. He didn't disappear till the gun went off. I was behind not only Webb, but everybody, no problem. Within 10 strides, I picked up 3 of them. That left Webb. He was the furthest ahead. He was further ahead of me than usual, but that was because of my rotten start. At the halfway mark, where I usually passed him, he was still ahead, and I still don't know if I wanted to win. I gassed it. The gap closed. I could hear him puffing, like a second set of footsteps. Cinder flicks from the feet pecked at my shins. I was still behind. The finishing line was closing. I kicked in the afterburners 10 meters from the white string. We were shoulder to shoulder, breath to breath, grandson to great grandson, and it felt new. It felt good, not being behind, not being ahead, but being even. And just like that, a half a breath from the white string, I knew there was no time to turn to him. I just barked out, "Lean!" He leaned. He threw his chest out. He broke the string. He won. It's a pretty amazing chapter. I hope you guys liked it. I'm just going to finish it today. Chapter 47, April 25th. I feel strange. I've been feeling this way since Wednesday, since I lost the race off. Lost. If I say that word out loud, it makes me shiver. At first, it was a strange, bad feeling. The instant Webb broke the string, I regretted what I had done. As we slowed down, he turned to me. He was confused. I knew what he was going to say. Did you let me win? But then the team was mobbing him, and I jogged off the track, and the 3 people still stood under the crossbar, smiling their faces off. Thursday, I didn't go to practice. On the walk home, I looked back once at the track. The 4 relay runners were practicing their baton handoffs. I felt sick. No practice on Friday. The coach took the 4 relay runners to Franklin Field in his car. Their race was scheduled at 2:20 p.m., and at 2:20 I was sitting in math class, and I tried picturing the race in Franklin Field. But funny thing, kept being shoved aside by another picture. This one, showing Henry Wilhide Webb III, standing, pumping his arms, shouting, and cheering. This morning, the announcement came on the speaker. The Springfield team had come in second at the Penn relays, our best finish ever. The principal gave the names of the 3 8th graders. Then he said, and the anchor leg was run by Penn Webb, who brought the team from last place to second. I could hear cheers from his homeroom down the hall. Inside, I cheered too. Chapter 48, April 30th. I was in the kitchen doing my new job, cutting food coupons out of magazines and newspapers, when I heard my mother yelp. I ran to the living room. She was staring at Scooter's walker. It was lying on the foot of his stairs. She glanced into his room. Not there. She dashed up the stairs and followed. I heard her say, "Scooter?" He was in the hallway, staring at the picture of himself in his Navy uniform, the picture painted by his daughter, my mom. She stood behind him, and she put her arms around him. "How long have you been up here?" "Bye-bye," he said. "And you came up without your walker?" "Bye-bye." He looked at the picture with him. "You know," my mom said to me, "there's one way this painting is different from the others." "What's that?" I said. "He never posed for it." "He didn't?" "No, and I didn't paint it from a photograph either." "What did you do?" She snuggled him closer. "From memory. He wasn't home very much in those days, so when I did see him, I looked at him until he was locked into my mind's eye. I was terrified I'd forget what he looked like when he went away again. When I painted this, he was as clear in my head as if he was standing there." She kissed his ear. "Right, Scoot? Bye-bye. And you see how he looks like he's saying something?" "Yeah." "He is. He's saying, 'I'll be home soon.' Bye-bye." Back downstairs, she joined me at the kitchen table, clipping coupons. "It's funny," she said. "A while ago, I was remembering all that, and I was thinking about how little I saw you kids and how little you saw me. And there was a minute back then when I actually was afraid you might forget what I look like." No such luck," I said. She laughed. "I know it sounds silly, but that was just before I told my boss I was going to go part-time." About Scooter making it up the stairs, I was surprised, but I wasn't. 2 nights before, I had mixed up some Missouri River mud. I took it into Scooter's room and made up a story about a school science project, and then I dipped his big toe in it. Chapter 49, July 2nd. So we went from April to July. Big jump. I still get that strange feeling. Like, is this really me? Am I dreaming? But it's not a strange, bad feeling anymore. It's something just different, sometimes even good. So much has changed from a year ago. The grass in the backyard is halfway to my knees, and there's weeds and dandelions higher than that. But the neighbors can't see because my father's built a fence around it. Guess you could call it the world's smallest prairie. There's a little bed of soft stuff on the floor of the mouse house. Now, Abby and I tell stories to Scooter. My mother goes to garage sales every Saturday morning. She goes to the supermarket that gives double coupons, and whenever I ask her if she's gotten me anything a second time around yet, she reminds me that I told her not to tell me. All I know is there's a suspicious looking shirt hanging in my closet. I used my sneaker money to buy Mom a new set of paint. She's going to start painting us all again. We're going to a ball game. My mother got the tickets, 5 of them, for herself, Scooter, Abby, and me and my father. He says he won't have time to go, but my mom says he'll be there. Abby bet me water ice that my mom will win. I said my dad. I hope I lose. I've been invited to a 4th of July party at Jane Forbes, and Penn Webb is my best friend. And that's the end of Crash. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys like the evolution of Crash as a character. That's why it's one of my favorite books, is because you start out really thinking he's a jerk, he's a bully, he does dumb stuff, he doesn't think through things, and it is a great book in showing how someone can change over time, given the right circumstances and finding the right friends. So hope you enjoyed. I also suggest you read it to yourself sometime or read it to a sibling or something. All right, guys, that's the end of Crash.